I love conspiracy theories. I love listening to them. I like reading about them, and I don't know exactly why, maybe to gain perspective. I don't know. But over the course of my life, I think that I found the most popular conspiracy theory that a lot of people believe, and it's the idea that God can't. And I no longer believe in this conspiracy theory, but I know there are a lot of people that do, and it's easy to follow the crowd and try to fit in. But God warns us not to follow our own ways or the ways of others, but to follow the ways of Him. James 4:4, chapter 4, verse 4, says something along the lines of, if you make the world your friend, then God will be your enemy. The idea goes hand in hand with the loss of faith, because if we don't believe that we worship the mighty miracle worker who can do anything, and if we don't pray asking for God's help, then nothing will happen. And if nothing happens, then we start to lose our faith, and then we start questioning, is God really there? I was in this kind of loop at one point, and I said, God, if you're there, do something, then come, because I don't necessarily like this downhill spiral that I'm on right now, but because of my lack of faith, nothing happened. And afterwards, at some point, I rediscovered my faith, and I've been calling out ever since. And God has been answering some crazy things, have happened a lot over the course of my journey. And it's just wow, now that I step back. And I wouldn't have been able to accomplish that on my own, and because it wasn't me. That was something else, and God really made a miracle. But if we lose faith, then God won't answer us. And if we don't believe that the doctor can fix us, then it won't happen. And if we believe that things that can hurt us, then they will. I know that if you've lost faith, it's really hard to regain it back. On top of that, we're pretty tempted by the devil himself. Even Jesus was tempted by the devil. The devil told Jesus he can have all of this kingdoms of the world if you bow down and worship him. But, Jesus said no. And that was the right answer. They say the only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it, but it actually is to put something else over it. And the best thing that you can choose to put over temptation is God's love. If you join the crowd and believe in the conspiracy theory that God can't, you will lose faith, and losing faith will make room for the enemy to tempt you and hurt you. And maybe in your life it's going a little downwards angle, and you haven't had your own miracle yet, and there's something holding you back. And it's okay to be in all these stages of life, but you can't let that get in the way of what God has planned for you. And even if God hasn't given you a miracle yet, then it doesn't mean it won't happen. We don't necessarily decide when God is going to do something. God does, and God has something amazing planned for you if only you had a little faith. Jacob chapter 35:14 tells us that even if we can't see him, he'll come if you wait. And that's true. It's been true in my life and other people's lives. Even if you haven't seen it yet, doesn't mean that it's not there. And even though you've taken a wrong turn, or maybe you're running around in the dark and you might not know it, if you had a little faith, then it'll come for you.